Hello everyone. Did you know you can easily define optional and mandatory checklists within a business process? Let's take a quick look at how that's done. So here within the business process player, we look at an existing process that has this type of task in it. And you can see we can check from a series of predefined boxes that the user can check or uncheck to select the options he wishes to include in the list. He can do it also using a tag method of input. Now, once we have the options we want, we finish the task, or as an alternative, we can terminate the task and pick up where we left off later. We have what we want, we finish the task, and the report of the next step, the choices we have made. So here we can see the way the options work. Let's see how this is defined in the Business Process Designer for this step. The key, of course, is the form. We look at the form's definition. We can see we're using two different methods. First, we're using the simple list type checkboxes where we're using a list of values. We're using a defined custom list because we want to give specific choices, of course. And then we're using the multiple selection box choice to give the user the visual that we see here at the upper left on the screen. Combine this with this, we're not setting any particular conditions for this, so the user can change the choices many times as he wants. As an alternate user experience, we could also do this through tags. Here, we're using multiple selection tags, and then the user can simply choose once again from the list multiple times to add tags for a slightly different user appearance, but the same results of capturing the information. As an alternative, if you have a very long list, you may want to change that to a dynamic selection, whereas you can just type a few letters and the system will figure out what you're typing and not have to pick from a very long list. Either way, we don't use any conditions, and the user has free to change as many times as they want and save the list. And as you can see, we have that result. Now, if we look at a mandatory approach where we want the user to choose multiple options, but not be able to move forward till all the options have finally been chosen. As an addition, we're giving the user a message here that tells him that he hasn't chosen everything. Once he has, the system tells him he has, and then he can complete the task and move forward with the process. So let's take a look at how this is done in the Business Process Designer. Once again, the focal point is the forms itself. If we look at the forms, we approach it in a very similar way that we approached it with the optional checklist. Here we can set a list of values again, whatever that list might be, as a customized list. We set the multiple selection box for the option. No internal conditions for the list itself, once again for this particular task. But we've combined it with a couple messages, and they do have conditions. Here, if we look at the condition, we simply say that if it's different from having everything on the list, as we can see in the tags, then show this particular message. So that would give you "you're not done yet" message. Whereas the opposite would be true for the second message here. If we look at this condition, it says if it's equal to all the objects that you have on your table, on your list, then we want to show the second option to let the user know where he's at with the process. Now at this point, you'll notice it's really no different from the optional list. Well, the key though is farther down here on this particular type of task, there's an add an activation condition. So here we want to control whether the user moves forward if all of the tags are there and it's equal to all the tags. So until all the tags are chosen, the user cannot proceed forward with the process. So it becomes mandatory to check every box that they're supposed to do in this step in the process.